The people that I saw before the gates of hell were man and woman that were not different from you and me. They have the memory of their earthly life and family intact. They remember the country they came from, but they were wondering where they were. People are going to hell asking questions. I saw that the senses of these people that have died and arrived from the four corners of the world were perfected. Their senses were sharpened. These souls that have died on earth in different countries stood in the queue, before a fallen angel that was bound in chains. This evil angel that was cast out with Lucifer, was checking the names of these souls beyond the grave to confirm their condemnation. I was terrified by this horrendous environment, and was begging the Lord to get me out of this lugubrious place. The Lord was crying and was filled with great sadness. He said to me, "My will was not for humanity to come to this place. I did whatever was necessary to spare human from this place, but the heart of men has rejected me." The Lord was crying for these souls that came from the four corners of the world, and I was crying because of these terrifying realities of hell wanting to leave this place. That's when I saw a 9-year-old kid in the queue. The boy was crying, "Mommy, where are you? Why have you abandoned me? Daddy, where are you? Please come to get me." I understood that these people before the gate of hell could remember their father, mother, brother and sister. They could remember their friends and co-workers and everything about their life on earth. While the child was crying for his parent, the demon that were flying like bat and laughing at him said, "You have come from that terrestrial world, where your parent were unable to protect you. Do you think that they will do something for you here? If they have failed to protect you on earth, what will they do for you here?" The Lord cried for this boy and these souls. That's when I saw the fallen angel Nickel opening a book of this boy life, and said to him, "The Creator of all things has found you guilty of your parent Nudity, therefore you deserve to be sent to your chambers of torture." The child was crying and saying, "Let me go back to my family, I have done nothing wrong." I saw that the child's body was already rotting and maggot was crawling in his body. It was unbearable to see these things happening to the child. The boy was complaining and saying, "I have not seen the nudity of my mother." "You are lying." I notice in this judgment no one was pleading guilty and accepting their condemnation until the projection of their life. Often we do things in hiding because people don't see us, failing to realize that we are surrounded by a cloud of witness, and every action is recorded. This fallen angel took the CD of Testament of Existence from the child's hand, and inserted into the screen of testimony, and the sin that condemned this boy was projected on the screen, showing the act that was his condemnation. The name of the child appeared on the screen, and I watched the place that the boy used to live in a borough of the capital close to the city center. On the screen it was 11 and the boy was sitting on a sofa in the living room watching television, but her mother was taking shower in the bathroom. Now when the child was watching TV, his mother's phone began to ring. Since her mother could not come out to get the phone, the boy took the phone and went to give to her mother. He stood at the door of the bathroom calling her mother in order to give her the phone. The mother opened the door and stretched out her hand to get the phone, but when the boy was giving her mother the phone, he slipped and hit the door that opened wide. That's when he saw her mother Nudity. When the child ran back to the living room to watch the TV, the big screen stopped right there and a voice in the screen began to say, "Condemnation, condemnation." And 6 months later the child got sick and was taken to the hospital, and despite the treatment the child died. When he died, I saw the vehicle of hell that came to get his soul, and he was bound and embarked in the dark vehicle of demon, and the demon dropped him at the entry of the underworld, to join the countless souls of men that were demanded by the angel of death, as delivery. I saw the fallen angel that ordered his demon to capture the child, who was in confusion, and the demon went to open the gate and threw the child inside this infernal kingdom. I could hear the child scream. The Lord was crying when I asked where the demon had dropped the child. He replied to me, "They threw him in hellfire." I said, "Lord, he is just a little boy, what does he know?" The Lord said, "Whenever a child begin to distinguish between good and evil, God judgment begin his action." Parents should not expose their nudity to their children. Then the next person in the queue came forward. It was a woman. I notice in this place everybody was clamoring their innocence, but it was when the movie of their life and their sin projected on the big screen, that they were sure of their condemnation. I saw that the woman that came forward was holding a cauldron that had coal that was still burning. From the cauldron her voice was saying justice, justice in a continually. The woman from our city, she was a Christian, and she kept saying to herself, I should not be here. I am a Christian, I go to church and I tried hard to fear the Lord. I always try to please the Lord. Why am I here? When the movie of her life was projected, I recognized the whereabout of her house, near the Central Market in the city center, where she was renting a house. The scene of her life that had condemned her was on a Sunday. She had just finished washing. That's when she saw that her neighbor that were cooking had already finished cooking, and they have left and gone to church, leaving the cauldron with burning coal just like that. The lady said in herself, since no one is using the cauldron, let me heat my food with the neighbor cauldron. She sent her daughter to go heat her food on the neighbor cauldron, but her daughter was complaining and did not go. That's when she took her food and went to heat it in her neighbor cauldron. It is because this lady went to use her neighbor cauldron without first asking for permission and authorization, that she was found guilty. She did everything behind the back of her friend. She thought it was no big deal since she used someone's property without asking the owner's permission. The accusation was raised against her because she used someone's property without asking the authorization and permission. In fact, I saw her friend called beside her, and there were voices of accusation against this woman who was shocked that this act led her to this place. The lady was asking, what wrong did I do? The demon of hell told her, lady, you used someone's property without asking for permission. It is illegal. You should have asked even if she was your friend. The gates of hell were opened and the lady was cast into the fire. Then I saw a man who was also condemned for using his neighbor's soap without permission. The man thought it was no big deal. It's just a soap, failing to realize there was accusing spirit in the afterlife, and other brothers were condemned for using his neighbor's things without asking. As a result, there was an accusation and he was condemned. All these people in the queue were forced inside the gates of hell. Brother, when something does not belong to you, you cannot use it without first talking to the owner and asking for her permission. You cannot take anything that does not belong to you and use it before talking to the owner for authorization. It is like theft before God. The third person I saw coming forward in the queue was a young man. He was carrying a pot in which there were a lot of women bra and women underwear. From these items as a voice was saying justice, justice in a continually where. I saw that in this place, everything speak, whether it is car, TV and every that people have used in life to commit sin. These items will accuse them and condemn them in the afterlife. When the movie of this young man's life was projected, I watched a scene where he was at home. Her parent went to work. Her sisters went to school of morning shift, and he was alone in the house, for he was supposed to go to school of the afternoon shift. He was at home resting, when he noticed that it was about to rain. Since her sisters always dry their clothes, especially the underwear, indoor and inside the lot, he said, I have to collect my sister's clothes before the rain get them wet. He went to remove her sister's clothes including underwears and bra. He put them in a pot to stop the rain from pouring on them. But since this young man was continually exposed to her sister's underwear, and since underwear is something related to intimate parts, and since we are not supposed to see people nudity, the young man was condemned. As a human being I was confused and bewildered by these judgment and condemnation. It was unacceptable that people were condemned for these things. Since I was strangers to these realities and also confused, the Lord tried to explain to me that parent that expose their underwear in their compound and the children see their underwear, warn them they are exposing their children to curses and condemnation. Underwear are intimate part of people and cannot be exposed to the people. And since the boy used to see the underwear of her sisters and parent, that were exposed on the clothesline, this has become his condemnation. The devil is promoting nudity in the end of times, simply because he wants the whole world to join him in the lake of fire, because we are not supposed to see other people nudity. After the boy I saw a young woman coming, they were like sausage stuck on his flesh and they were like rotting. I heard the word justice coming from these sausage. When the life of this young lady was projected on the screen, I saw that her big sister used to sell people sausage on credit. People were coming to buy and pay later, and this young lady had the habit of buying her big sister sausage, and promising that she will pay later. However, when it was time to pay the money she owed her big sister, she was giving all sort of excuses. Her big sister was not happy about that and she was complaining, and since they were two sisters of the same family, the big sister always let it pass as if nothing happened. But it is the failure to pay back what she owed her sisters that have condemned her soul. Even if it was her big sister, the Lord made me understand that she was supposed to pay back what she owed, unless her big sister tell her otherwise. I was there seeing the young lady trying hard to remove these sausages that were rotting on her body. She said the sausage belonged to my own sisters. Even if I don't pay the money, she is my own sister. How can you condemn me for that?